this is that many students struggle to learn. We covered many topics on soft skills, teaching methodology, and research in our previous slot of this STTP. Learning is an ongoing process, and learning is many times referred to as teaching in higher education. But learning is much deeper than memorizing and information recall. Deep and long-lasting learning involves understanding, relating ideas, and making connections between prior and new knowledge. Independent and critical thinking and ability to transform knowledge into new and different contexts. Teaching, training, and other structures, learning opportunity are activities that one person does to another while learning is something we can only do it for ourselves. The STTP, uh, be the change teaching learning process is about the learning. Hope you all will enjoy, interact, and make use of knowledge and of the knowledgeable people. Now I would like to invite Dr. A. Peer Mohammed, Vice Chancellor, B.S. Abdul Rahman, Crescent Institute of Science and Technology, to give his presidential speech. Sir, Registrar sir is here, so can we start with inaugural speech, sir? Sorry, sir. Sir, Registrar sir has joined us.
Okay.
So first, I would like to invite our Registrar, Dr. A. Azad of B.S. Abdul Rahman Crescent Institute of Technology to give an inaugural speech.
So, there is some background noise actually. You can correct
yes,
it.
sir. People. Yeah.
Okay, Professor.
Good morning to all of good morning to all of you. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You're audible.
Okay. Respected Vice Chancellor of our university, Professor A. Pirman. Respected Director, HR of our university, teaching staff, deans, HODs, and director, participants from our university and other universities. Very good morning to all of you. Teaching is a passion for many of you. Many of you would have joined the profession, to become good teachers. It is a kind of, attitude. Many people enjoy it. Long time before, when people joined as teachers, they were told that they are like the ladders. So people, ladder helps people to go up. So we are doing tremendous work for the upliftment of the society. India has a huge university system. More than 800 universities are there. There are 40,000 big institutions are there. And there is a huge cadre of teachers. The number of educational institutions has increased in the past 2 decades tremendously. As a result, a large number of people have joined the teaching profession. However, as today's theme says, how do you manage your quality? How do you keep up your pace with the improvement in the knowledge, especially in engineering, technology, and various research fields? Today, a teacher is not only a teacher, they have to do research also. So they have to manage both. On one side, they are teaching. On the other side, they have to do research. Research is, again, requires a lot of time. You have to do research, get funds, publications, and all. So on the other side, due to the information technology, internet, and other facilities, students are also becoming very knowledgeable. Whatever the teacher teaches today, if they go to the net, they get 100 times more information on the net. So the teachers have to keep ahead of the result. What you taught the last year, you may have to add this year for the next batch. When it comes to the quality, there are so many things involved in that. One is what you are teaching, then how you are teaching. Apart from that, how much you are in during many of your interaction, you would have understood that you must be constant learners. To learn, you may use all the resources. Apart from that, I will encourage our teachers to attend very good conferences, seminars, so that you are well informed about what is the latest trends in your area. Teaching is not only teaching your subject; it is also to motivate the students to learn. In any class, there will be a section of students who are dull or less motivated. So you have to motivate a lot of students. So motivation is part of your teaching. Teaching the morale is also part of your teaching. Accepting their younger age, people with young age, some will be very happy. Some may do some mischief and all that. However, you must pardon them because you must understand that is a developing age, especially the age between 16 and 22. It is a age where they ask a lot of questions. So you say you don't stand there, they will ask why we should not stand there. You don't do this, they will ask why we can't do that. That is how the nature works. So being a teacher is not only understanding the subject, it is also to understand the student. So you may have to do multitasking during the teaching. And for that, you have to organize the day, organize your semester, organize the year, even organize a career by understanding what are the current requirements. Apart from that, have mentors, senior professors who are interested in you, who are successful. You must have successful professors, kind professors as your mentors. They can save you a lot of time and energy, and they can guide you properly. So, with this, I'm sorry, there was as usual, internet problem. So I joined at the last minute. However, it is I have gone through this training program. All the materials on the training program. You will have very good deliberations to this. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your inspiring words. Thank you. Now I would like to invite our Vice Chancellor, Dr. A. Peer Mohammed, for his presidential speech. So,
Thank you. Good morning, all of you. Our Registrar, Professor Azad, our Director, HR, Dr. Nikat M. Hamza, other Deans, Directors, HODs, the participants from our country and from abroad, and also the speakers. It gives me immense pleasure to participate in the inauguration of the STTP slot 2 on Be the Change teaching learning process organized by our HR division. At the outset, I congratulate Director HR and his team for organizing this kind of programs for the benefit of our teacher. So this is a second in the series. One more slot is also remaining. So the topic is well chosen. It is very apt. Be the change. Actually, the world is changing very fast. So we have to be more adaptive. We have to be agile. What's going on around us? As told by our registrar, we have to learn for tomorrow, not for today. Every day is different. So we have to seek for continuous improvement. That's more important. Every day we have to do something better than what we did yesterday. So the role of teacher is very, very important. It's not the same as we were teachers some 30 years back, actually. Here we have to choose and adapt new pedagogies, new rubrics, and our education become outcome based. So we should know about the program educational objectives and the outcomes and see that the outcomes are attained. That's more important things. So we have to constantly update our curricula and syllabi and our teaching methodologies. So this kind of program helps us actually to know what's going around us. So because the speakers are experts in their own field of specialization, and our teachers can come to know about many new people, of course, many new subjects. So they have to constantly update and upskill. Unless we upskill, update ourselves, we cannot motivate our students. Motivating and inspiring is more important. So we should have thorough knowledge in the subject what we teach. We should be authority in our subject. We cannot afford to make any mistakes in our classes actually. So we have to be thorough, correct, complete in each and every aspect. So this kind of program will help us improving, correcting, honing our knowledge on the subjects what we are teaching. Of course, not only we should teach, we should be very creative and collaborative also. Now, reading the books and teaching in the classroom itself is not sufficient. We have to be creative. We have to be collaborative. We have to do a lot of research. And the research should not stop in the classroom or in the lab. It should be taken to the incubation centers, and we should see the product. And Registrar told that the teachers are likened as a ladder that we allow others to grow. It's not like that. The teachers now can grow. Now teachers can start their own companies actually. The provision is there now. The government has made it possible. We can be a founder, co-founder of a company. So the teacher can grow. So there are a lot of opportunities available. So we have to make use of the opportunities. So we have to keep in pace with what are the changes taking place around us. Of course, learning is not a single time affair. It is a continuous process. While the students are learning, the teachers should learn, and of course, we ourselves should learn. We will learn and see that our students are empowered well. When they come out from their program, they are more complete in all aspects actually, not only in theories but also in practice. So that requires a continuous industrial interaction. Our teachers should interact with the industries continuously, and our students also should find a solution for the problems happening in the industry, not only solving the problems in the textbook. So what's happening in real time, isn't it? They should find a solution. We have to prepare the students in that way. So I again congratulate for the HR and his team for arranging this kind of program, and all the 5 or 6 days the participants will enjoy the lectures because they have drawn a lot of good people around the world, and you will enjoy, you will get enlightened, and a lot of benefit for all the teachers. I also would I like to listen to the classroom lectures. We will be also benefited. And finally, I wish the program a grand success. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Before starting with our first session, I would like to introduce our eminent personalities of our BS Abdur Rahman Crescent Institute and the speakers. Sir, BC sir, with your permission, shall we start, sir?
Yes, please.
B.S. Abdur Rahman Crescent Institute of Science and Technology is a renowned quality leadership institution located at the greenest spot of Chennai near Tambaram. Through our long history of 36 years of excellence, the institution has offered access to a wide range of academic opportunities. With 49 programs, grouped under 12 different schools, 29 undergraduate programs, 20 postgraduate programs, and PhD in all the departments, this institution is a rising stalwart in higher education with promising quality, security, and placement. We welcome students from all countries, and our educational programs are designed to equip the learners with virtual knowledge that helps them to achieve what they want to be and go where they want to go in the ladder of success. This institution is an intellectual destination that challenges conventional thinking and stimulates passion to redefine learning. The distinctive teaching at this institution makes the students and scholars to compete with themselves and each other. Apart from providing top-notch education, our green campus and well-planned student life are solely dedicated to making students utilize the ambience to the fullest. Through our wide array of educational programs and unique clubs to foster student development activities, we provide opportunities and experiences that build community, help you grow personally and professionally, and create a place that you can call home now and throughout your life. An uncommon man of deep conviction and perseverance, his vision runs crescent today for the benefit of the teachers, staffs, students, alumni and the society. Destiny is not a matter of chance, but of choice. The man who changed his destiny hailed from a middle-class family at Kilkarai, Ramanathapuram district, Tamil Nadu, reaching the pinnacle of success by his ultimate choice of perseverance and elegance. Dr. Buhari Sayyid Abdur Rahman, a well-known personality in the field of education, economy and industry, and was also a philanthropist par excellence. He was an ardent lover of the welfare of society who believed that the world is for the winner when business is not just about self but also about society. Dr. Abdur Rahman felt education to be the key to solve socio-economic problems of the society. Hence he founded a number of educational institutions through which a multitude of students have been benefited. Amidst his numerous achievements as an entrepreneur and educationist,
Problem. Let me try it again.
Dr. A. Pir Mohammed was appointed as Pro-Vice Chancellor of B.S. Abdur Rahman Crescent Institute of Science and Technology on 20th of January, 2020, and he has become the Vice Chancellor of the Institute on 31st of December, 2020. He started his career as lecturer in textile technology, AC College Technology, Anna University, Chennai in 1986 and worked as assistant professor from 1992 to 2000. He became professor of textile technology in July 2000 and retired in January 2018. He received his B.Tech in textile technology in 1980 from University of Madras, M.Tech in textile engineering in 1983 from IIT, Delhi. He completed his PhD in 1992 in Anna University. He has 31 years of teaching and research experience in Anna University. He held many administrative positions in Anna University like Chairman, Faculty of Technology Director, Planning and Development, Additional Controller of Examinations Director, Center for Faculty Development, Head of the Textile Department Director, Center for Affiliation of Institutions, and Controller of Examinations, Anna University of Technology, Chennai. Before joining Anna University, he worked in the South India Textile Research Association, Citra, Coimbatore Lakshmi Machine Works Limited, Coimbatore as RF Limited, Chennai. Dr. A. Azad, Registrar B.S. Abdur Rahman Crescent Institute of Science and Technology, worked as a professor in the Department of Manufacturing Engineering. He was also the Director, Center for International Affairs and earlier the Deputy Director, Center for Research, Anna University. His doctoral thesis was in the area of total quality management. He facilitated student and staff exchanges with foreign universities. He held many awareness programs on studies abroad, special programs for researchers, foreign language programs, technical talks, international conferences with partner universities, international summer school. He published many research papers in national and international journals and book chapters. He has expertise in total quality management and is a well-known speaker on various topics of TQM. Dr. N. Raja Hussain, Deputy Registrar, B.S. Abdur Rahman Crescent Institute of Science and Technology. He holds 36 years of experience in academia. He did his M.Com from Madurai Kamraj University, MBA from Madras University and PhD from Dr. Ambedkar University, Agra.
Let us know more about our eminent speakers.
Dr. A. Pir Mohammed. Born into an accomplished business family of par excellence that ran into multiple industries, Dr. Shankar Goenka left his family business and set up Wow Factors India Private Limited in 2006 to nourish his passion for building and refining human capital to help individuals and organizations for achieving super success. INCC cadet, theatre and stage artist, place synthesizer, hockey player, an avid researcher, inquisitive learner and a competent professional who believes in inclusive growth and sustenance of mankind. Dr. Shinkar's exploration led him to specializing in whole brain thinking under the able guidance of Dr. Cobus Neethling, which formed the center pillar of all his training programs for his divergent audience. Strong believer of the mentor-mentee relationship, had great mentors in life and is very thankful. Travels across the globe on invitations from national and international bodies for speaking and training assignments through his offices in India and overseas, and is the recipient of a string of prestigious awards from India and abroad in creative thinking, transformational leadership, capacity building, women leadership, education, social work, and happiness. He has facilitated more than 5 lakh people and his clientele, which include a notion of school children from 300 plus schools, universities from India and overseas, professionals, academicians, CEOs, judges, bureaucrats, business owners from more than 150 corporations, PSUs, ministries, NGOs. Trained at NBI registered, South Africa, International Finance Corporation, World Bank, All India Management Association, AIMA, and many more training programs. Deborah Spring-Laurel has been a workplace learning and performance improvement consultant for over 30 years. The president of Laurel and Associates, Limited, a certified woman-owned small business, Deborah is internationally recognized as a quality trainer of trainers and a specialist in curriculum design. She consulted with J.J. Strossmayer University in Osijek, Croatia to design the first Eastern European participant-based master's degree program in entrepreneurship. Her work has taken her to South Africa for UNIDO, Jordan, Kenya, Nigeria and Zambia for USAID, Jordan for Mercy Corps, and Dubai, UAE for ICBA. She's published in the 2004 to 2013 FIFO annuals, the Leadership Challenge Activities book and 101 More Ways to Make Training Active. She authored 2 info lines, Conducting a Classroom Learning Audit and Jumpstart Your Learning Objectives. Deborah publishes a free weekly e-zine, Laurel Learning Tips. Over 830 tips can be found at http://laurelandassociates.com/blog. She has her master's degree from the University of Wisconsin-Madison, USA. CEO, Chief Facilitator and Executive Coach, Prime Meridian Consulting India Private Limited has a work experience of 35 years and wide experience in the domain of leadership and organizational transformation. In corporate life, he has worked in leadership positions in both Indian and multinational organizations, and in his last designation was a senior vice president in a Tata Group majority stake company. He has been instrumental in the areas of business growth, managing transitions and establishing and managing new business streams. Pawan specializes and has conducted leadership and organizational development initiatives for leaders from organizations such as IBM, Capgemini, JP Morgan, PwC, Saint-Gobain, and other big companies. He has been a guest speaker/keynote speaker in senior leadership retreats and national and international seminars. He is a certified Marshall Goldsmith facilitator and coach, master faculty on Robin Sharma's Lead Without a Title System, master faculty of leadership, global on building emotional intelligence and ethical leadership, faculty of Collective Leadership Institute, Berlin for navigating change in complex multi-actor settings, stakeholder collaboration and collaborative execution excellence in organizations, consultant for conducting the online game-based leadership development simulation, Serious Game, for decision makers on flow promoting leadership, developed by Professor Mihai Csikszentmihalyi John Maxwell, team coach, speaker, and teacher. He has done his B.Tech, Telecom and Electronics, Masters in Strategy from Madras University and Executive PG from XLRI, Jamshedpur. He is the only leadership facilitator and coach from India who was selected to share his leadership transformation experiences in a Hollywood documentary, tentatively titled The Life and Legacy of Marshall Goldsmith, due for release in mid-2020. Manoj Onkar is Chief Consultant, with over 25 years of experience in the domain of training, consulting and organizational development in India and USA. He has empowered the lives of more than 30,000 plus people and 200 plus trainers. Manoj has done a doctorate in organizational development and is a mechanical engineer who also holds postgraduate diplomas in general management, human resources, marketing, and finance. At Me Management Innovations, Manoj has been spearheading the introduction of the leading-edge, globally renowned technologies and methodologies that cause human development, organization transformation and big social impact. He has 20 years experience in conducting ontology-based transformation workshops, individual coaching and group coaching. With a depth of experience as a master trainer and consultant, Manoj has been the head of consulting at NISPA to managing national and international collaborations for the company. Additionally, he also ensured training delivery, quality and management at a national level. Prior to his association with NISPA, Manoj was working with the Landmark Education as a forum leader, global faculty, where he has trained approximately 15,000 people in India and the USA. He is a key member of the National Training and Certifying Council of the Seminar Leaders of India. He has coached trainers across India, and also some trainers in US, Hong Kong, Singapore, Bangkok, etc. Dr. Nikhil Gokhale is founder of company named Videonium and marketing director, consulting, at Tiny Twig, Australia. He obtained his master's degree from the University of Pune, India, and moved to the United States to pursue his PhD in chemistry at the University of Illinois at Chicago. He then joined the U.S. National Institutes of Health, NIH, as a visiting fellow. After conducting biomedical research at the NIH and at the University of Massachusetts Medical School, Dr. Gokhale returned to India to pursue work in academia and industry. He has successfully inspired, trained, and managed a team at Crimson Interactive, a renowned multinational communications firm with offices based in India, US, Japan, China, South Korea, Taiwan, augmented Inago Academy's international outreach, Europe, Asia, global. Received recognition from Crimson Interactive for being an ace innovator. Invited Nobel laureate Dr. Kurt Wuthrich for a training workshop in Mumbai and obtained corporate sponsorship from Biocon, India's largest biopharmaceutical company, for the Indo-US Nobel laureate workshop, St. Xavier's College, Mumbai. Served as the Chief Conference Coordinator for ICSI 2017 and ICA 2016. Successfully invited Nobel laureate Dr. Alan J. Heeger and experts from MIT, USA as keynote speakers and experts from Stanford University IIT Mumbai as keynote speakers for ICA 2016. He received a graduate teaching assistantship, $18,000 per year, from the University of Illinois at Chicago, August 2002 August 2008. He was recognized as a resource person by the University Grants Commissions in Flibanet Center, Gujarat, India. Cited and recommended by the prestigious faculty of 1000, Prime, 2006. He has 250+ citation in Google Scholar. He also cited by articles published in Nature Chemical Biology, Structure, Angewandte Chemie, and by Dr. Solomon Snyder, Lashkar Award winner, USA.
Dr. N. Raja Hussain, Deputy Registrar, B.S. Abdur Rahman Crescent Institute of Science and Technology. Dr. Mukesh J. Warrior received the MSc in Physics in 2003 from Indian Institute of Technology Roorkee and M.Tech in Laser Technology in 2006 from Devi Ahilya Vishwavidyalaya Indore. He received his D.Sc. in Physics from Kyoto University in 2010. From 2010 to 2011, he worked as a specially appointed researcher in the Renovation Center of Instruments for Science Education and Technology, Osaka University. Later from 2011 to 2012 he worked as an assistant professor in the Institute of Technology and Science, the University of Tokushima, Tokushima, Japan. He was a visiting scientist from 2015 to 2016 at Korea Atomic Energy Research Institute, Daejeon, South Korea. Currently he is working as a scientist at CSIR National Physical Laboratory, New Delhi from 2012. He is a recipient of Monbukagakusho Fellowship Japan, 2006, JSPS Kukini, 2011, and Korean Research Fellowship, 2015 to 2017. His research interest includes generation of high-power THZ pulse, THZ spectroscopy, THZ imaging, and THZ frequency metrology. Dr. Apatar Basak, with 24 years of academic and industry experience, gold medalist in MBA in 1996 and doctorate in management. Graduated in commerce from KMV, Jalandhar and has been conferred as accredited management teacher by All India Management Association in 2008. Has served as faculty and in academic administrative positions in various management schools in Hyderabad and Kolkata, School of Retail Management, Symbiosis University, Indore, Indian Institute of Health Management Research University, Jigir, and ITM Vocational University, Baroda. has been a member and chairperson of various committees. Presently working as professor with Tishk International University, Kurdistan region of Iraq in Faculty of Administrative Sciences and Economics. Her work experience has affirmed interest in training, research and consulting in accreditation, DPR, entrepreneurship, general management, sales and marketing and online training in PSUs, pharmaceutical and healthcare sectors. Imparted training since her professional engagement with ESCI, Hyderabad to various organizations. Siham El Kafafi has a wide industry and consultancy experience in the medical, manufacturing and service industry besides being an academic for the past 23 years. Siham is running her own business Arrows Research Consultancy Limited, providing consultancy work for both corporate organizations and educational institutions since June 2014. Siham holds a PhD from the University of Waikato, New Zealand, a Master's in Adult Literacy and Numeracy Education from Auckland University of Technology, a Master's of Public Administration from the American University in Cairo and Bachelor's of Art in English Literature with honors from Shams University, Cairo, Egypt. Siham has over 100 publications in journal articles, book chapters and conference proceedings besides being on the editorial boards for various national and international journals, on board of examiners and award committees. Dr. Pennan Chinnaswamy obtained his master's degree in physics from Wesleyan University, Connecticut, US, followed by a doctoral degree, with focus on hydrology, from Missouri University, US. After his research fellow position with the Ashoka Trust for Research in Ecology and the Environment, at TRE, he joined the International Water Management Institute, IWMI, as a researcher, geohydrology and remote sensing, and was stationed in Nepal and Indian offices, where he focused on climate change impacts on underdeveloped and developing nations. He then joined Nanyang Technological University, Singapore, as a senior researcher developing real-time flood predicting models for Singapore. He is currently an assistant professor with Indian Institute of Technology, Bombay, India, under the Center for Technology Alternatives for Rural Areas, CTRA, department, where his work primarily focuses on natural resources assessment, monitoring and management in rural regions. He is the founding director of the Rural Data Research and Analysis, RUDRA, lab, which is the first big data lab for rural regions, housed in an academic institution in India. He is also an associate faculty with the Interdisciplinary Climate Program and Policy Study Center in IIT Bombay. Pennan is also a visiting professor with University of Oulu, Finland. Over the past decade, Pennan has experience working in NGOs, national and regional government agencies and academic institutions, focusing on sustainable surface and groundwater management plans, climate change impacts, large data analysis and hydrological simulation models. His work has been recognized in many internationally peer-reviewed journals, policy briefs and government reports, for example EPA, NEA Nepal, World Bank, Asian Development Bank, and are being used to formulate scientifically validated best management plans. Dr. Firdaus Sharof is Director Professor, CRKIMR, University of Mumbai, and Sir M. Vishweshwaraya Institute of Management Studies and Research SVIMSR. He is Board of Director in the Zoroastrian Cooperative Bank Limited, Mumbai, Independent Director, LICHFL Care Homes Limited, Lions Clubs International, Lion Club of Bombay Cuff Parade, Institute of Clinical Legal Education and Research, ICLER, National Vice President, Civil Rights Protection Cell, CRPC, Nagpur. He is also an actor in Bollywood movies. He acted in films, scientist role in Mission Mangal, Body Double with Boman Irani, Medlife Advertisement, Khamcho Namkeen, and acted with Boman Irani in movie Ferrari Ki Sawari, On the Ton, Navy Admiral role in Advertisement, Naika directed by Konkana Sen, Commissioner of Police role in movie Darbar, Press reporter role in Parsi drama Bawaji Ka Time Aayega. He is recipient of World Excellence Icon Award 2020, upcoming Best Bollywood Actor in recognition of playing multi-talented roles in Bollywood movies, advertisements and social cause for cancer awareness initiatives from Speak India Speak. SK Films and Production House, short films, web series, documentary. He is also recipient of Best Actor Award at 3rd Real Estate and Construction Leadership Awards 2020. He received Special Educator Award of Recognition from Higher Education Forum, HEF, on the 10th Teachers' Day event at Indian School of Design and Innovation, ISD. Appointed on Senate member of the Pune University by His Excellency Shri Keshankar Narayan, Governor of Maharashtra and Chancellor of the Universities of Maharashtra, nominee under Section 25(2)(s) of the Maharashtra Universities Act, 1994, for a term as envisaged under Section 42 of the said Act, effective from 31st of December 2010 till 31st December 2015. Recipient of Outstanding Teacher Award in recognition of distinguished services rendered in the field of education/promotion of social and religious activities from Lions Clubs International on occasion of Teachers' Day, 5th of September 2003, 2010, 2012. Recipient of Award for Dedicated Services in Education 2005 in the sphere of meritorious and humanitarian services rendered to the society and mankind.
Dr. Ajaz is Assistant Professor IIT Dhanbad.
Doctor of Dr. Afzalur Rahman is head, Department of Commerce, has more than 10 years of experience in teaching and industries in India and abroad. He has hands-on experience in ERP implementation. He has expertise in accounts, finance, and financial data analytics, share market capital, and cryptocurrency. He has published many papers in national and international journals, attended and organized many national and international conferences. Because of expertise in IT, he was able to reduce the paperwork and duplication of work through various apps available and self-made, which made his department functioning smooth even during lockdown. He also worked as content head in Gap Education Limited. He did graduation, master and doctorate in commerce from Patna University and MBA from Vinayaka Mission University. He also holds advanced diploma in software engineering from NIIT Patna.
Dr. Nikhotem Hamza, Director HR and Faculty Training Development at PS Abdur Rahman Crescent Institute of Science and Technology, Chennai. She holds 26 years of experience, of which 15 years of experience in leadership role with different industries of repute like drip irrigation, automobile, fabrication, IT, and 11 years in education. She did her MBA from North Maharashtra University, Dulgaon, Maharashtra, and PhD from RK University, Rajkot, Gujarat. She has authored the book Corporate Sweet and Salt, available on Kindle and paperback on poti.com. She is also recipient of Sushma Swaraj Stree Shakti Award.
We'll start with our first session. Siham ma'am, hello. Siham ma'am. Yeah. Can you hear me, ma'am? Ma'am, you're on mute. You're on mute.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
I can hear you. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
Welcome,
thank
ma'am,
you.
and thank you for having patience. We started a bit late, but you can take the extra time. Siham ma'am will be giving lecture on flipped classroom, inquiry-based learning, and expeditionary learning. Ma'am, it's over to you.
I'm going to share my
Yeah, you can, ma'am.
yes, that's what I am doing right now as we speak. Okay, can you see my my screen?
Yeah, we are able to see that.
Okay. I'm trying. Okay, here it is.
Yeah.
And you can hear me clearly, right?
Yeah, we are able to hear you clearly, and we are able to see your PPT also, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much. I would like to start by thanking you for Dr. Nikat and all the organizers and my fellow presenters and all the attendees for having this opportunity to participate again and be the change, teaching and learning process, the complete transformation, slot 2. And this time I am going to be sharing with you about flipped classroom. Everybody has been talking about flipped classroom, and everybody is trying to learn about new ways, stepping away from the traditional education. And the key thing here is that as educators, we are aspiring to be the best we can to help in the transformation of our processes, of our students, for their careers, and to be part of their learning journey and experience. And there is a lot of talk about the flipped classroom model. So I'm here today to share with you what is this concept that everybody's talking about and what does it mean. So in my presentation today, I will start first by talking about the concept of flipped classroom, the definition of it, what does it stand for, and then comparing between the traditional learning style and the flipped classroom. And of course, that will lead us as human beings, everybody wouldn't do anything except if they feel that they're going to win something out of it, they're going to benefit from it. Then I am going to share with you about different steps, a guide for us educators that we can follow and that we can use in order to transform our classes into flipped classroom, and also talk about the pillars of a flipped learning. So there is two different terminologies here that we will be talking about, flipped classroom and flipped learning. And then we need, as reflective practitioners, and for the sake of continuous improvement, to look at ourselves, our practices. Are we really following it? And what are the signs that shows us, do we really do flipped classroom? Are we really doing flipped learning? And finally, do reflections. So let us first start by talking about what is the concept of flipped classroom. This concept and that terminology has been developed by Jonathan Bergerman and Aaron Sams. They were both school chemistry teachers, and they wrote this about this concept in their book, Flip Your Classroom. Reach every student in every class every day in 2012. So let us look at the definition that those teachers talked about. So they said that flipped classroom is actually a pedagogical approach. So what does it mean? You are actually directing the instruction. You are moving it from a group learning space to an individual learning space. And then what is going to result is that the group space is transformed. It is transformed instead to a more dynamic, a more interactive learning environment. where we, as the educators, are going to guide the students. How are they going to become more engaged, creatively, in a more innovative way, and also to help them practice and apply the concepts that we're trying to teach them in whatever subject matter. As educators, I'm sure that you will all agree with me when we say that we learn by doing. Human beings, adults, we learn by doing. So as educators, our aim is to provide our students with concepts that will help them outside the classroom in the real life, whether it's personal or professional, in order to be successful in our profession. And the concept of flipped classroom is going to help us to do that. So you will wonder, how is it going to happen? So let's see. If you are going to compare between what used to happen in a traditional learning environment or approach versus what we're talking about in flipped learning environment. So try to visualize with me the classroom where the teacher, we stand in the front, and everybody, the students, are sitting in rows in front of us in that traditional classroom. That layout, that traditional layout that we're all used to. And as a teacher, yes, it's called a teacher at that case, is concentrating on the subject matter, and standing there and giving the instructions, explaining and demonstrating a concept, and giving the definitions and telling the students what does it mean. And the students are sitting there utilizing their listening and writing and taking notes vehemently. Quickly, take notes. And they are looking at the teacher and following every utterance and every word and believing that that's it. They cannot question it. They cannot ask anything. And this is what that's the trend. That is the traditional way. And at the end of the class, the teacher will give them a homework, go and answer those questions, or go and read this, or go or whatever activity or exercise. So that was the traditional way. And if you visualize that, it demonstrates to you the picture that the students are totally passive, and everything they need to do is just listen, take notes, memorize, and look at what the teacher is saying. And we lived for quite a while doing that. But right now, there is a total revolution and a change in the paradigm of teaching and learning. And one of those changes of paradigms is the flipped learning and flipped classroom. So in this case, the picture is totally different. What happens there is the teacher can assign things for the students and material to prepare before they come to the classroom. So this is before and during and then after that we're going to be talking about. So before the students come to the class, they need to have the ownership that they have to participate. They are no more passive and only receiving information. They have to also do the role. So you may give them certain activities to do it at home, to investigate the subject matter, go and research it online with their friend Google that everybody is using nowadays and cannot live without it. Not sure how did we survive without Google. And or maybe you would have something for them to read, or maybe you would have a video that you have prepared for them to share and listen to it. Maybe jot down some questions or some things that they need to clarify. So all this happens before the students come to class. See? So you are involving them, you are engaging them, you are preparing them before the classroom. And then when they come to the classroom, you are actually giving yourself and themselves the chance to get to know each other in a better way. So this is the chance that they would clarify things that they didn't understand themselves. Also, you are giving them to have depth in their learning experience. And you're giving yourself also the chance to get to know them. So you are giving them some discussions, some group activities. So before the class, they worked individually. But then when they came back to the class, this is the time that they work in groups again. And they connect, interact with each other. And as facilitators and as educators, we would help them solve any problem. And that will also help develop their critical thinking in that process. So that is flipped versus traditional learning. If we are going also to go deeper into this learning approach, traditionally, there was the lower level of learning was being utilized, remembering, understanding, that was happening in the classroom. And the students were left to do some activities and later on involved in higher level learning outside of the classroom. And that was following Bloom's taxonomy, which I'm going to share with you in a minute, the figure. But in a flipped classroom model, you are putting that pyramid upside down, as I will show you. The students can finish the lower level of cognitive work before they come to the classroom. And then they come to the class and then they can engage in the higher level of cognitive learning with their peers and with you as the educator and the facilitator. So let's have a look at Bloom's taxonomy. So the original model of Bloom's taxonomy, which is 6 levels, that was it was nouns, and it was created in 1956, as you can see. So if we are going to start from the bottom of the pyramid, and that's how Bloom developed it, you're going to see that this is the lower level of thinking skills, and then you go to the higher level of thinking skills. So it starts with remembering. So what happens is that these students are trying, after they were in the classroom, they're trying to remember specific facts. They try to understand and grasp the meaning of the instructions. So for example, if we are talking about the subject of leadership, and we are trying to define what is leadership, and then we start talking about the different styles of leadership, that concept and the differences, for example, between the older theories versus the latest theories, or usually sometimes there is a misunderstanding between the students and difficulty for them to understand the difference between a transformational leader and a transactional leader, for example. And when we try to simplify it and tell them that a transactional leader, their characteristics is more like management, versus a transformational leader, their characteristics is different, and it is a leader. So they grapple to understand those new concepts for them if this is their first time to learn about leadership. And then you try to apply it, to use this information. So for example, when you're giving them an activity and explaining to them and telling them, choose a leader that you're familiar with or that you idealize, and then try to analyze them and which style of leadership you think this is the leader. Then they try to apply it on that specific leader and then analyze and start identifying the relationship between those leadership styles, the theories they're learning, and an actual leader. And then afterwards, start examining the information and making judgments. And then start creating something new, a new understanding. So that was the original Bloom's taxonomy. We stand there in the class, we explain to them all these things, and then later on until they reach the top level of the pyramid. Now, if we're going to look at the flipped Bloom's taxonomy, and this is mainly for generation C, as you can see, the pyramid is upside down. So, and it's divided into 3 phases, as I was mentioning, before the classroom, during the classroom, after the classroom. If we go take it on those 3 steps. So before the classroom, when you are giving your students an activity, they are trying to remember what did they hear, what did they read, did they understand it, they didn't understand it, they had questions, they need things that are fuzzy to them and not clear to be explained. And then they come to the classroom. And then while they are in the classroom, then you are giving them different activities and interactions, maybe projects to work on, maybe a group discussion or activities, maybe also a role play to demonstrate how are they applying those concepts they read about. And then analyzing everything. Then after the classroom, they sit there and start evaluate. They have ownership of their own learning journey. And you also, as an educator, you start evaluating your teaching. So it also happened. Was it successful? Did you manage to explain those concepts clearly to your students? How did the students interact? So you are also revisiting the tools that you have used, the tools that you have provided to your students before the classroom, and checking, did it work or not? If it didn't work, then how can you enhance on it? Remember, we are reflective practitioners also. And the main aim and goal here is to actually engage our students in their learning journey. To make it simple, and what is flipped classroom simplified, please look at it in 3 stages. Before, during, and after. So before they come to the classroom, the students prepare outside of the classroom using high quality online teaching resources. There is actually one thing that I wanted to share with you. When flipped classroom first came up and everybody started talking about it, at that time I was working in MIT, and there is this kind of misconception, and some of the people who were not really familiar with flipped classroom thought that that's going to be easy. Less work for the lecturer. We don't need to really bother anymore. We can just give the students things, just throw it on the students and let them read. Give them readings at home. That's not it. That's not the case. Actually, and when I go further in this presentation, there are lots of important things that needs to be done. It actually requires from us as educators to be more creative, more innovative in the material that we need to provide for the students. And if we're smart enough, it will be hard at the beginning, of course, but then as we go and as we get into it, it will become easier. Like anything, when you're starting new, it's not as easy as when you practice it. Practice makes perfect, as we all know. So anyway, so that's before going to the classroom. It actually depends on high quality material that we put thought in. It all depends, of course, on the subject matter. And then during the classroom, the students are applying, they're practicing all those concepts, and they are getting one-on-one feedback from the educators. So then after the classroom, the students are checking on their understanding and how to extend their learning. And also us as educators, we are checking on the whole process. How did it go? Did it go smoothly? What needs to be refined in it? The key thing here is continuous improvement. So this figure in front of you, it actually demonstrates the whole model of the flipped classroom again. So outside the classroom, again, this is different than the traditional components. It depends on us, educators. How are we going to prepare to help the students before outside the classroom, whether giving them videos, demonstrations, handouts, tutorials, games to engage them. As we all know, gamification also, it's one of the latest trends to engage students in education. There are lots of benefits that we are going to go through later on for this flipped model. And also that gives the opportunity in the classroom that we have more collaboration. Collaboration between the students and each other, collaboration between the students and the educators, and it's also helps develop lots of the skills that we need to prepare those future employees, problem solving, critical thinking, innovation, and also working in peers with each other. So the flipped classroom design, as you can see that process, outside the classroom, they need to remember, they need to understand, they need to apply. So we as educators need to be very careful in the selection of the content, the selection of how are we going to deliver that content. In other words, which parts are going to be used flipped and which parts are going to be discussed in the classroom, or with what we're going through right now in COVID, which are going to be on a Zoom, for example, or Teams, on an online platform like that, and then create that content. And then in the class, whether it is really physically or it's on Zoom or on Teams or any other online platform, we are going to help the students to analyze and to evaluate and to create. So we are coaching them as educators there and assessing the learning as we go. So if we're going to look at some of the benefits of the classroom, there may be lots of people who would stand there and say, come on, Siham, we all know the students, they don't read. They don't listen to videos. They don't prepare before coming to the class. That's true. I have to admit that some of the students do that. They don't want to prepare. They don't want to put the effort, and they just want to come and attend and, I don't know, wing it, as we sometimes call it. But not all the students are like that. And even if there are some of them or a big number of them, I believe that our role is to flip this attitude and to explain to them the benefit of it. and keep on repeating and repeating until the information sinks in and until we win them over. And once we win them over, the benefits, the sky's the limit. So let's go through some of the benefits. And I believe that if we ourselves believe in it, then we will do it the best possible way we can. If you do not believe in something, you will not be able to convince the person in front of you. So if you don't have it, you can't give it. As simple as that. If, for example, if you look at yourself between buying something from a salesperson versus not buying something for another salesperson, I believe that the salesperson that you bought from is the person who actually tried the commodity or tried the service and was talking to you from heart. You will buy that commodity or you will use that service. Versus the other salesman who did not try that commodity, does not know about it, and is just lip talking and lip singing to you. So you are not convinced. You are not going to do it. But if we as educators believe in the benefits and the importance of how to engage our students through flipping our classrooms, then we will definitely find a way of how to convince them to be more engaged, to be more responsible and more participating. So when we're using the flipped classroom, we are actually speaking the nowadays language of the students. What do I mean by that? Everybody is having those beautiful gadgets with them. Some people are glued to them and they cannot leave them. And the students are like that. There is also lots of videos all around, and people communicate a lot with videos, whether it's personally or whether it's professionally. There is YouTube videos that everybody, if you want to learn anything, go on YouTube and learn about it. You want to have a recipe, you want to cook something, you go there. You want to learn how to knit, you go there. You want to know how to paint, you go there. You want to know about any concept in management, you go there. So it's videos everywhere. So these students and us and everybody nowadays, that's the trend, the technology that is surrounding us. Look around in your house, you're going to find yourself surrounded by technology. So when you are using the latest technology to flip your classroom, you are actually speaking the language of today. You are contemporary, you are no more traditional. So that's one benefit. Then, as we all know, we all have busy life. So some of the students may not be able to come to the classroom or may not be able to attend regularly. So when you're having those resources available for them, then they can go to it whenever the time is convenient and suitable for them. That's one thing. The other thing, if you remember, when I said before, during and after the classroom, in the flipped classroom, there are students who would be struggling, for example. We all know that we are all different. That's the beauty of diversity. And also people have different learning styles and different speeds in comprehension. So when you have some of the students, they pick it up so quickly, while others, they need more time. They need more examples. They need different way of explanation. So that flipped classroom also provides you with the opportunity to support and help those struggling students on their own suitable pace. It also helps those ones who pick up things to excel, to shine, to show their creativity and innovativeness, and how can they apply the concepts that they are learning. Also, And when you're having, for example, videos, the students can repeat and repeat and repeat. Stop it and rewind, and stop it and rewind. So, but when you are standing in the classroom and just saying yourself once, the student cannot do that. So that is also one of the values of technology. The other thing is that it also gives another, a better opportunity that there is more interaction between the educator and the student. Why? Because the student already read. We as educators, we give more attention to actually the application and to clarify any queries for the students. And so it helps also that we would have closer relationships. The students get to know us better, we get to know them better, we cater for their requirements, and we differentiate in our techniques of how to meet their different learning styles through the different activities that we prepare for them, whether outside before they come to the classroom or inside the classroom. And that also helps in a better and high level of interaction between the students when they come to the classroom. So they are not busy writing notes. They already read about the concept, thought about it, tried to understand it, and then they came to the class and they are ready to interact with each other in whatever activity was organized for them by us. Now, I have talked a lot, and I believe that this is your turn to also participate and look at the impact on the class management of that concept. So if there's a possibility that you can work in groups, fair enough, if you are in the same office, but if not, and you would like to work individually, that also would be great. So I would like you, please, I've demonstrated to you or presented to you my beliefs, my point of view. I provided you with the list of the advantages of that concept. And it would be a good idea if you please take about 10 to 15 minutes to jot down a list. In your opinion, what are the advantages of a flipped classroom versus the disadvantages of a flipped classroom, and see how would you benefit from it? Because actually it differs from one field, perspective, topic to another. Is that possible, please? Is everybody, can you hear me? I mean, is that a possibility?
Yes, ma'am. Siham, ma'am, we can hear you.
Yeah, so can we do that, please? Can we do? And then we share with me some of the participants in their point of view, disadvantages and advantages of the flipped classroom for their own topic.
Participants can raise their hands, or they can type the message. I'll read out, or madam can also.
Yes.
Good morning.
Yes, Sarwar, you can ask the question.
Yeah, ma'am, the thing is that I believe in Flipkart. I'm practicing, first of all, that Flipkart thing, Flipkart pedagogy. And one of the repetition which I found is that students are taking too much time for discussion, and some ego issue is coming between the students group. Like I was right and he was right, somewhat like that. So this is the limitation which I got. So what you will be saying on the basis of this limitation? Have you got my point?
Okay. Yeah, of course, I understand. Okay, so I will try to paraphrase what you mentioned to make sure that I understood you correctly. So you said that you do believe in the flipped classroom, but you are meeting challenges, and the challenges is that when you give the students videos or activities or readings at home, and then you want them to come to the class and discuss it. Is that correct? Right?
Yes, ma'am. Actually,
Yes.
most of
And
the
then,
time I'm coming from Department of Management Studies, ma'am. So it is like that. I am giving them most of the time case studies, so they can come up with a point, and they can
yes.
go through the case study before the class itself. This is one
Yes,
thing, and second
very
thing,
good.
I'm used to share the links of videos.
Okay, very good. So what is your subject matter again, please?
I was teaching them written analysis.
And now, rated analysis. Okay. So
Written. WRITTEN, written analysis techniques.
oh, okay. So, and then when you put them in groups in the classroom, they disagree with each other.
Yeah, most of the time
Yes.
they will be coming with the point.
Okay. Well, I believe that this it hasn't got anything to do with flipped classroom. This has got to do with teams and how the students are working with each other. So if I may ask you, did you do a contract with the students at the beginning of your class, the first class, of how are you going to manage the classroom and how is the interaction and the rules in the classroom?
Yeah.
Have you done that?
Yes, ma'am. I had mentioned this thing, and I usually used to, whenever I start the class, I used to put up the principle that what they are supposed to do and what they are not supposed to do.
So do you tell them that they have to respect each other's opinion, for example?
I used to
and
say,
that
as I told you,
everybody has the right to speak up their mind, and everybody has the right to, I mean, people can disagree, but that doesn't mean that it will become an issue, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So my view here is that each person can look at the analysis and the rating from a different point of view. They can complete each other, or one, I'm not sure if you have a right and wrong. For example, for us in the management field, certain things, there is no absolute correct and there is no absolute wrong, but there is a way of how you justify your answer, how you explain it, and how you convince the person in front of you. Do you have an absolute right and wrong in your field?
Ma'am, I am from Department of Management Studies only. We don't have any absolute one. I am with this opinion that there will be no absolute answer for a particular case study. There will be different answers. But the thing is that, ma'am, most of the time, students' interpersonal issues comes, and they are come up with a not cordial talk, but they come up with a different thing.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. But that issue is not to do with the flipped classroom. That is to do with how you're managing your class and how the students are interacting with each other. So my suggestion, my humble suggestion, of course, to you, is that at the beginning that we need to do icebreaker, and we need to make sure that the students gel with each other, and the ones who work with each other do not get into arguments. They treat each other with respect.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I got your point.
Yeah. So what happens is that, of course, you are always going to have some students who, for whatever some reason, as you said, personal issues, they may not agree with each other. And what happens is, as I don't know, facilitators and managing our classroom, we make sure that if this happens once, that those students do not work in the same group the next time, if it's personal.
Okay, ma'am.
And the other thing that I always do at the beginning of the class is that when I meet them the first time ever in the semester, we do two different things, which is ground rules for the classroom, where they have to, and I write it on a big sheet of flipboard, and I save it, and each time it comes, that is different than the specific lessons, where what do they expect from me as an educator for the rest of that semester, and what I expect from them. And some of those ground rules is that we all respect each other's opinion. There is no put downs and no use of bad language and things like that.
Okay, ma'am. I will.
Yes.
Yeah, I really appreciate the way you have answered, ma'am. And the ground rules, I will be. I always clear with this my students that we are in learning age. So it's not like that I am a very big learner or you're not a learner. We both should learn and we should come up with a difference of opinion. No doubt, the knowledge which we are getting, it will be definitely benefit us.
Okay. I hope I managed to help with some tools for you.
Yeah. Thank you for your answer, ma'am. Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you. God bless you.
Thank you.
Thanks. Okay. Anybody else, please, would like to share any of the disadvantages or advantages in their own opinion about flipped classroom?
Participants can ask the questions directly. I would also request participants to please keep their cameras on so that ma'am can see you, and it will be an active interactive session. Ma'am, I am keeping my camera off because of some network issues here.
Okay.
Today I am facing problem with the network issues.
Okay.
So participants are requested to keep the cameras on and have an interactive session. Then only you will be able to learn something.
You know, I'm a believer that, yes.
I think, ma'am, nobody is having any question, so we can proceed.
Okay, the thing is that I believe that we all have different points of view, and we all also learn from each other. And one of the important and the great things is that as educators, when we share our stories with each other, so if somebody already used a flipped classroom, can you please tell me what were in your opinion, what are the disadvantages? I mean, I shared with you what some of my colleagues thought at the beginning. Whoa, that is going to be very easy. We're just going to give the students something read. Go and read before you come to class. But trust me, if you do not, if you don't put a good activity for them to prepare before class, it's not going to be well when they come to class. And the other thing is that some of my colleagues also complain that the students do not read. They do not read, they do not listen. But if we tailor our activities in the classroom around what they read, that will force the students that if they came the first time and they didn't read, the next time they will have to read, because they will feel left out. They will feel that they can't participate because they don't have a good information about the subject matter. Would you agree with me about that?
Totally agree with you, ma'am.
This is Ipra here.
Yes.
Yes.
Hi.
Yeah, I was using the flipped classroom in my class. So what happens is, so when we are engaging the students, when we are informing the students to go through the contents and then come back to the next class. So out of the 100, out of the students, the 25% or 30% they will do their homework and then they will come back. Whereas this 65 or 70% students, they won't do their homework. Yes. So and then the next day, as per our plan, we will be moving ahead, and then we will be started asking the questions regarding the contents which you have given. So, but as most of the students, they have not done their homework. So they can't able to answer that. And then those students who have also done their homework, they won't open their mouth because most of the students, they didn't do their homework part, and then they don't want to discourage them. That is what in my class happened. They told that the other students, they didn't do their homework part, so you just postpone the class to the next. So whatever the planning is happen in the class, so it will be just postponing it. It happens like 2 or 3 times in my class. So the schedule for the planning for the classes, it was little bit on the confusion mode, and then we have to go ahead and then move ahead, and then we have to take some other topic for the class. So any other solution where we can motivate the students, like
yes,
participate?
yes. So may I ask, you said, do you have 100 students in your class?
100, I'm just saying the percentage, not 100
So
students.
how many? So how
70.
many students do you have in your class?
70 students are there.
Yes, that's a big class number. Okay, you see, the things is that when one of the things that I'll discuss is that we have to also be flexible. Okay, so we have to. It is. Let me give you an example. We know mothers, for example, complain that their kids do not like to eat vegetables. So sometimes they hide the vegetables within little things and they give it to them, right? Right?
Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So what we need to do is that we need to just drag them little bit by little bit. And how can you do that? You make activities fun. You put it as if it's a game. And if they didn't, okay, they did not read. They come to you and they didn't do it. You do it in the classroom. So you encourage them. So for example, they didn't look at the video. Okay. So what happens is that do the video in the classroom. They haven't done it. Put the video in the classroom and then start asking the questions, start engaging them. Because maybe they didn't look at it at home, they don't know what's the content. So if they taste it, people, when they don't taste anything and they don't know how sweet or how nice, they don't want to try it. But give them the taster and the trial in the class to just drag them towards you. And then explain to them that you are doing this is what they're going to benefit out of it. And you don't get phased out. You persist and insist. Do not give up, please. What
Yes,
can we
ma'am.
do? We have to keep. Yes?
Yes, what if the students take it as granted? Like already I did like this, whatever the homework I have given, so
no,
I have
change. No, every time change. And put a carrot. If you do this, I will do that. If you do this, I will take you out. If you do this, I will give you that. Sorry, bribe them. Do whatever. I'm going to take you out. Finish this and I'll take you out. Do this and I'll do that. I do this to my students. They're like little kids. We are like little kids. All of us. We act like that. We act up. Find out, because you see, there are different learning. And trust me, if a group of them sees some of them having fun and enjoying it, they will get jealous and they want to enjoy it too. That's human nature. So some of them, for example, like role playing. They become competitive to excel, competitive to do better. So if this exercise and activity did not work out, change it. Next time, do something else. Next time, do something else. Never repeat yourself. That is the key thing of flipped classroom. You have to be innovative in the way you give the material. Role plays. I found out that some of my students, they get scared. and they don't want to do it. But once they get into it, we have to keep on motivating them. Once they get into it, they will like it and they will do it. Make it something personal to them. Talk to them, ask them, what is it that they like? And the key thing is that, who are the influencers in your class? That's another thing, power. Power is very important. Who are the key personalities in the classroom that affects of the rest and they follow them? You go to those key students, you take them to your side, you win them, then their job is to win the rest for you.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. I got it.
What do you think?
Yes,
well,
I got that point.
Yeah, we have to keep on trying. I know it's not easy, but we have to keep on. We cannot give up. Right?
Yeah, that is it. Thank you so much.
Well, I'd be really interested to know what you have done with your class after that. Okay. Is there anybody else who would like to share? No? Okay. Let's move to the next. Do you still have my screen or no, you don't?
Yeah, it's visible, ma'am. Your screen is visible.
No,
your PPT is
my PowerPoint. Do you still have my PowerPoint?
Your PowerPoint is visible. Now I can see the discussion impact on class management.
Okay, so let us move to the next one. Okay. The next one is that, so actually from what you mentioned, what I've noticed is that just a question for you. Do you yourself believe that a flipped classroom has is valuable?
Yes, ma'am, it is more valuable.
But as an educator, is it time consuming for you?
Once in the beginning, it is a time consuming. So once if we are done with this, and then afterwards, when we are used to with that, so it's very easy for us to manage with our flipped classroom. Because whatever the concepts we are trying to explain in the class, so it will make us job very easy for the students if they are having the basic knowledge already outside the classroom.
So what kind of material do you provide for them, please, outside the classroom before they come?
According to the concept wise, so if any videos are available, then I used to provide the link for that videos, and then otherwise I used to make some PPT, and then I used to provide the notes as well if it is a little bit of concept wise where they have to just read 1 or 2 sentences.
Oh, okay. So
okay.
Have you done your own videos?
I have done my own videos, ma'am.
Oh, okay.
I have done my own videos and I share my videos before going to the class. One day before I share.
One day only?
1 or 2 days before, depending on if it's a weekend, I'll share it 2 days before. Because even if I give too early, also they don't watch and come.
They don't watch it. Okay. Yeah, we see that issue. I mean, I think it's a global thing that all of us educators complain about, that the students don't read, don't this, don't that. I'm the kind of person who keeps on emailing them, and I also phone them. For my students, I email them and I phone them. And yes, there are some of them who do it and some of them who don't. And it's the same thing. It's a global thing. But I believe if we have few of them that would enjoy it and demonstrate how fun it is, that may win others. So, yeah. Okay, let's move to the other point that I wanted to thank you very much for sharing your point of views. As I can see that you're all passionate about it and you believe in it, but unfortunately, the main thing, the disadvantage that lots of people are mentioning that I hear is that the lack of engagement of students before they come to the classroom, which means we have to work on that. And I believe it's diversifying the activities and motivating them. So there is done in 2014, developed a 6-step guide to flipping the classroom. And he believed that this will help. And from the 2 or 3 people that I talked with, I believe that that's what you are following. So the first thing that Don said is that planning. Planning is actually an extremely important thing. So that's my personal suggestion. If you think that you cannot do all the flipped classrooms, alternate in a way that the students would not guess our next movement. You see, when we become very obvious to the students, then they can think, oh, this is what my lecture is going to do, so they become complacent. So we have to alternate and think differently. So in the planning phase, you need to think carefully which of your lessons that you believe requires to be flipped, or it will work very well, or that's important for your learning outcomes, and what is your lesson plan and all these things. And you incorporate it in your plan that this is what you are going to do as a flipped classroom. And then according to whatever you decided for that week or those couple of weeks, you start recording, you start doing your own videos. So sometimes the students get bored if we're all the time giving them links to YouTube. So the next time we change, we say, okay, I am going to talk to them. Or another time, you can actually go out in the market, you can go out in the street, you can go out anywhere and decide that you are going to have a live video, record something that happened, and that you think it will be more beneficial. Sometimes I used to use a lot of clips from movies. You see, everybody likes to watch movies. So you can choose certain clips. And in these cases, perhaps you need the help of your IT department. If you are not a highly IT savvy person and you need the help of your IT department to help you in making those videos more engaging. If one student watched it, they'll go and tell the others. And I believe that you also know that students talk. They talk among each other. I'll give you an example. These days, I am teaching in a different, totally new concept in the social services department. And it's a certificate and it has got different modules. A few weeks ago, I was in the class and we were talking about one of their assessments and the requirements, and it was to talk about the kumi kumi, which is the Maori word for a conflict resolution, how to resolve conflicts and how you first identify it. And of course, what are the required skills other than the models for conflict management and conflict resolution? You also require to support it with tools. The tools are your skills, how to solve it. So we were sitting in the classroom and their assessment, they have to choose an organization and choose a conflict, an actual conflict. And of course, the definition of what is a conflict, the disagreement between two entities. So they need to identify who are the two entities, what is the conflict, in order to choose the adequate strategy to resolve this conflict, and what are the tools, the skills. And we were sitting and talking, and then one of the students, and we're talking about the deadline, one of the students stood there and she said about one of my colleagues, another lecturer in that classroom, Siham, why are you rushing us? The other class, they did not even finish their other module. We are in module 5 now. And she was saying that the other class, they did not do the role play, which is one of the assignments, for the module 4. And they were comparing me with the other lecturer. How did you know that? Oh, he's got a friend in the other classroom, and today they are not talking, they are not having the same lesson we are having. They are still doing presentations for the role play of the old module. It's, you see, it's really shocking that they're standing there, they got out of the main lesson that we are in and the main discussion, and they're talking about another lecture that's happening with my colleague and that they didn't finish, and oh, we're ahead and we shouldn't. They don't want to work. That's it. That's the story. They don't want to work. So I stood there and I said, well, I'm sorry. I cannot compare myself with somebody else, and I don't know what's going on in the class. And it's none of my business. What I'm telling you here is that we have this thing to do, and we have to do it. Why are we comparing ourselves to others? Let us concentrate on the job on hand. And I want to do my work properly, and please, you also need to support me in that. We have deadlines, we have moderations, you have to submit your assignment on time. Students talk. They talk with each other. They look at what is this lecturer doing or what is that. And this is also teaches us as educators that we have to be in synergy with each other and collaborate with each other, talk with each other, so that the students will not come and do that to us. So it is extremely important to be standardized too, or else we're opening ourselves for their attacks. So anyway, so sharing is also very important. So after you plan, you record, and then you share it with the students. And if each time we try to diversify and differentiate and give them different activities, we are not, we're trying to minimize from boredom. And we are trying to minimize from them also getting complacent or getting bored, and it's the same thing, it's the same thing. And catering for their different learning styles. Some people like to learn by reading, some people by listening and watching videos, some people by writing. So when we give them different and prepare for them different activities, it actually helps them to learn according to their own requirements and their own pace. Okay? So then the next step is change. So as I was mentioned, is that the lessons have to be different and depending on the depth also of the subject matter. And then the fifth step is the group. Working in groups, as we know, it has got its own dynamics, its own techniques, and we have to help them work together. From experience, I find out that some activities individually, when the students are reflecting about their own experiences, it's very good to do it like that. And some activities like role plays, they love it. They get engaged in it and they work very well in synergy in groups. And then it's very important that we also reflect what went well, which stage went well versus which stage did not go well, and then how do we actually refine it, regroup, redo it again. So we have to keep on reviewing and revising as we go each time. And by the way, each group is different. So in this semester, you may meet some students, some technique becomes very popular and works for them. But if you come in the next one, it may not be the same. But so it's always changing and to the different tones and the different needs of the different levels of students. So I want you, please, I'll have to change the activity and ask you who practiced those 6 steps and what was the classroom that you used those steps? Was it successful or not successful for you? Now it's your turn to talk, please. Have you used Dunn's 6 steps when you were preparing and planning for your flipped classroom?
Sir, Ibrahim sir, you're on mute, sir.
I'm on mute?
No, ma'am. The participants, those who want to ask the question, they are on mute. Ibrahim sir, you are on mute.
Oh,
okay.
Somebody's trying to talk.
Ifra, can you unmute the participant?
Ma'am, they can unmute, ma'am. Already I have given the access.
Okay, participants can unmute themselves and speak. ये सब में ये क्यों आ रहा है? HR फैकल्टी मोहम्मद जमशेद में भी रिकॉर्डिंग आ रहा है.
Excuse me, ma'am. Siham, ma'am.
Yes.
Yeah, ma'am, we talk about the basic principle which we are supposed to follow for Flipkart Room. It's first of all sharing the notes, video, or the things which is related to the subject. Second, regards to the presentation. Third, that how it will going to happen. So the basic instruction at the time of class, it has been given to all of these students on the very first class, ma'am.
Is that a question?
No, ma'am. It's like that you asked that whether we have followed
what I'm asking is that have you followed Dunn's 6 steps that I just referred to, and how it worked for you? What were the steps that worked for you? What were the steps that didn't work for you? How did you deal with it?
Ma'am, the the steps which has taken, it was in proper order. It was working unless unless the students themselves, like few of the were not prepared. So I asked them that they should prepare in the class itself. This is the alternate which I got. Who were not prepared, I asked them to prepare them in the class. And third thing is that their personal interpersonal relation was has become problematic. Ego issue. So it's like that. I had told you already that I found that it is the limitation of Flipkart Room. Okay, ma'am.
How many students are in your classroom, please?
60.
Yeah.
That's why
you have big classrooms. Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Is there anybody else who would like to share, please? So when you are not sharing, does this mean you are using it or not using it? No?
Ma'am, this is Supra here again.
Hi.
As I've already, yes, hi ma'am. Ma'am, for me, the thing is, the steps, it is working, but actual from the evaluation point of view, I couldn't judge whether I have completed the flipped classroom or not. So like some of the students, they were not done their homework part, and then some of the students, they have done their homework part. So on what basis I have to evaluate? Like it's a flipped classroom or not? Because in one of my class, what happens, I've given the topic and then I've given the videos to them to go through that and then to come back to the next class. So it was only the small topic where in my class around the 70 students. So out of that 25 students, they have completed that video part and then they have seen that video and then they came back to the class. Whereas the rest of the students, they were not ready with the video content. So what I did is I've asked them to look at the video in my class. So I made them to look at the video. So on what basis I can judge that whether I have done the flipped classroom or not? That is what
Yes.
my question is. How can we
Yeah.
evaluate?
Yeah, it is very, very difficult when half of them do it and half of them, you've done it. The thing is not, you're not evaluating if you have done the flipped classroom or not. You have done the flipped classroom. The question is, which of the steps worked for you and which did not work? So obviously there are some of them that they don't get engaged or they don't want to get engaged. So did you try again the next time and still the next time they did not get engaged?
Yes, ma'am, next time as well. So next time what the next time what the students have done, I have just given some gap and then I have asked them because I don't want to persist them each and every day. So what I did, once if I try in 1 week, I will just try in the next week, because the students they may be having a relaxation and then they will by the next week the students can participate. Like that, I have given the gap. So that is what I'm thinking is, that is what the mistake I made. So because earlier, as you said, as you told, that we have to be persistent and then we have to be continuously trying on. So what I did is I was trying in 1 week and then if it is not working, I was just trying for the next week.
Thank you for sharing and saying that, but I would like to mention something. Please don't say this is my mistake, because we all learn. As educators also, we're learning. We're learning from our students how to be the best in our profession. So it's not a matter of mistake here. It's a matter of you're trying to engage them. And it takes two to tango. If you do like that with one hand, you cannot clap. You need the two hands to clap. So you need also the support of the students. So you cannot do it all by yourself. You need them to work with you so that it is for them. After all, what we are aiming here is to help them with their education. So they have to have some ownership too for it. We try our best, but they also need to have some ownership. Right? So,
yes, ma'am. Yes,
ma'am. Yeah. It's not easy. I know that. It is not. Thank you. Thank you very much. Is there anybody else who would like to share? There are lots of no sharing today. Okay, let's move to the next one.
Hello.
Yes.
I have a suggestion at this point. Actually, when we ask them to watch the video and come back, it's better that we evaluate in the class when we discuss. When we say that when we'll ask questions and some marks will be awarded for it, then they'll come prepared. If we just ask them to come prepare and we'll discuss, I think they'll take it very lightly.
Yes, I agree with you about the rewards, and this is one of the point. It is, I believe in the carrot. You know the concept of stick or carrot. I believe in the carrot, not the stick. I believe in the carrot. So I'll tell you some of the things that I sometimes do is that. And this one, you can do it in the class to encourage them and build the momentum and the motivation. Then next time, when you give them something at home, they will be encouraged to do it and come back.
Yeah.
I used to go and buy, you know, the big, huge Whittaker or Cadbury chocolate. Okay, the chocolates. I get and I put them in groups. And what I do is that because also I make them, when I'm teaching them also how to self-evaluate and peer evaluation. And I put them in groups in the classroom and I give them an activity or a role play that they do. And I put on the board a list of criteria that they will give ranks to each other. A winning team will get a chocolate, you see? So in the next time somebody else, I want to take the chocolate, I want to win, I want the chocolate, I do that. And we have here in New Zealand, what do you call it, chocolate fish, which is, it's like a marshmallow covered with chocolate. You get the bag and you distribute it to them. There are lots of people who love, you know, the little star, when we were little kids, the gold star, the red star, the green star, just even the little star, they love it. And they start competing with each other. Oh, I want to win. Oh, I want this and I want that. It really, really motivates them. And next time, oh, who's going to take the chocolate? So you can do this as an example in the class. So then they get excited. So next time you let them do it at home and prepare and meet with each other. And you say, when you come to the class, I'll give you 5 minutes or 10 minutes to organize among your team. And then you will stand and give your presentation, or you will stand and do the role play. So they interact and they work with each other. So it motivates them. And sometimes I tell them, okay, if you do this very well and we finish it, we will go out. We will go out and have lunch outside. You know, you change the setting of the classroom itself. Yeah, it makes a difference because, by the way, students get bored. Yeah, they're like us, we get bored. They also get bored. So you change things for them. Make it a game. Let them jump and fun and run and play. That's my personal experience anyway. It works sometimes, and you're not going to get 100% all the time, but it wins sometimes, and we enjoy it also with them. And when we're enjoying it, they will enjoy it. Everybody enjoys. Thank you for sharing.
Thanks.
Anybody else? No? Okay, let's move to the next point. Okay, so we have been talking about flipped classroom. So there is also the concept of flipped learning. And for us leaders, we need leaders in our educational field. We need to distinguish between a flipped classroom and a flipped learning. So these terms are not interchangeable, by the way. So in the flipping a class, you can do that. As you have all seen, and you demonstrated actually that you are doing flipped classroom. But that does not mean that automatically a flipped classroom is going to lead to flipped learning. Many of us may already flip our classroom, as thank you very much for the ones who shared that they have been flipping their classes. But in order for the students to get ready and read outside the class or watch these videos or solve additional problems, they need to get engaged in flipped learning. And that is the key, and this is what I heard from all of you. These students are not engaged in this flipped learning. In order to engage the students in flipped learning, there are four pillars in that practice. Let's have a look at them. So if you're going to look at the basis, it is the pillars of flipped learning. Flip is flexible environment, learning culture, intentional content, and professional educators. And the goal, the top there, is student engagement in flipped learning. So let's go through that. So when we are talking about flexible environment, you are allowing actually a variety of learning modes, as I have been answering some of your questions and giving you examples. So you can either physically rearrange the classroom. The layout of the classroom is different spaces, and it depends on what you are doing. And that will support the students in their learning. So let me give you examples. What do I mean by that? So sometimes in one of the courses that I used to teach, it was about, they were all professionals in the medical field. So it was a diploma in health services management. And there are lots of concepts in management that they need to apply in the health setting. And we used to do a lot of role playing. So the whole classroom would be changed. And it would be set up like this is a hospital, or this is a clinic, or this is this, or this is that. We changed it. In other situations, we would actually go outside the classroom. We would have field trips. We would visit different organizations. When I taught organizational management and operation management, we need to go to have visits to organizations, look at what is the operation there from A to Z, from the minute you walk in and you walk out. Once we went, for example, and visited Coca-Cola, and we looked at their production lines and how they are doing it, and look at things actually. There is flexibility there. You're engaging the students. The organization of the whole event or the whole class, it's in the class time. How are we going to go there physically? What kind of transport, and where are we going to meet? And somebody from the organization will give a briefing, and then we go every single phase and look at things and how it's actually being done. One time we went to even Post NZ, New Zealand, and we looked at how they dealt with the post, all the operations, how it's going, how it's happening. In another learning space that weekend, I was working. And as I mentioned to you, the topic that we were discussing was to do with your skills and capabilities. So what we asked the student, go to the market. We were teaching not in the classroom, we were teaching in the marae. The marae is the house that is well known for the Maoris. And the whole setting is different. People are sitting on the floor and lying down and just relaxing, doing whatever and talking. And then we finished the discussion. Come on, everybody, go to the market. Go and observe. This is the Saturday market. So they went to the market. We want you to look at the people and observe them and come up what type of conflicts that you have seen and what kind of skills you can utilize in order to resolve this conflict. So they already got the concepts. They already listened to the videos, had the discussions, had the talks, everything. And now we want them to apply. Go to the market. And then you have to come back and give them flip charts, and they have to draw and express themselves through this drawing or whatever they want to demonstrate, and stand there as a group and present. And even though it's the same activity, each group presented differently. They noticed something different. They talked about maybe similar or different skills required to resolve these conflicts. And they viewed it from a different point of view. Somebody was talking about some religious man was standing there and preaching. Another one was talking about the conflict between the buyer and the seller. It was different. And they got engaged and they enjoyed it. So you can teach outside the classroom. One time I took the students out in the middle of the buildings, the courtyard. And we were sitting there. It was a sunny day and beautiful, not raining. We're always having rain here. So they were sat out there and started talking and engaging, just sometimes changing the atmosphere, showing them that there is flexibility, that they are not confined. So when you diversify like that, that actually helps them in their learning. It shows them that we are also flexible in our expectations from them. And it depends also on how flexible you are in your assessment. I know that we have deadlines and we have to mark and we have to submit in time and we have moderation and we have people coming from outside and moderating our work. But we need also to provide flexibility and flexible environment for our students to learn. That's one pillar. The second pillar is actually the culture. We talk a lot about culture, the learning culture. And I started today by attracting your attention about the differences between that traditional teaching culture and how it was centered on passive students, and that we as teachers are the focus and the primary source of information. So at that time, the students would linger to every word from us and believe that we are the only ones who have all the information. But right now, that's not true. If somebody comes and asks me, I am not a Maori, for example. I'm not a Maori person, which is the indigenous people here in New Zealand. I'm not Maori. I am originally from Egypt. So I cannot stand there and claim, if somebody asks me about things about the Maoris, that I know it. I have to be honest with myself and with them and say, I'm sorry, I don't know. I will check and come back to you. Or I would go to another colleague who is Maori and would better do it. Or I can get a guest speaker who is maybe specialized in that point that I'm not. So we are no more the source of all the information. We are not be it all and the end of all anymore. So that also is one of the things in the learning culture, is that we are open and we are honest and we share actually. And the center there is actually our students, in engaging them and helping them by dedicating more time to them in the class, to explore those topics, to practice them, to go deeper into them, to open more learning opportunities for them. So the students in such cases know that in this new learning culture, they have to own up for their learning. They also have to pursue the knowledge. They have to also search for it. They have to be interactive. They have to participate in it and to evaluate their learning, and not only sit there and expect that it will be handed to them with a spoon, or that we're going to open their heads and fill it with information. No, they are also responsible. That is the new learning culture that we're living in. That's the second pillar of FLIP. The third one is intentional content. And I believe from the colleagues that I've heard from them is that they are tailoring their lessons in accordance to what is required. So the FLIP learning educators you continually think about how you can use the FLIP learning model, because you want to help your students develop conceptual understanding as well as procedural fluency. So you are determining what you need to teach versus what you want the students to explore. So there are certain points that you will stand there and explain it to them, while other points you want them to go out and research it themselves. So you can give them a question and let them go and investigate it, research it, and come back with an answer next time in your class. So that is extremely important, so that you are maximizing the classroom time in order to make it more focused and centered on active learning strategies. And also that depends on your subject matter that you are teaching. The fourth pillar of flipped is professional educators, us. Our role is extremely important. So this flipped classroom is actually more demanding on us educators than the traditional role. It is, because during the classroom, even if we give an activity to the student, we cannot sit there on our chair and do nothing. We are actually, what I do is that when I put them in groups, I walk around. I insist that they change the layout of the classroom. And they have to sit around in a circle, and I tell them eye contact is extremely important. When they choose some of them are very lazy. They don't want to move. They don't want to move. Sometimes I tell them, stand up, move, change the whole layout. You want to sit in a row. I said, how can you talk to each other? The one sitting there will not be able to hear to the one sitting there. Ah, you're sitting there, okay. So they need actually to have eye contact. They need to be talking with each other. So I insist that they sit in a circle. And then what happens is I walk around. I walk around in the classroom and listen, and sometimes participate. I sit some time with this group, talk to them, see what they're doing, listen to them, and move around. It gives me an opportunity to understand them better and to see the depth of their discussion in the classroom. Okay? So these were the four pillars of flipped classroom. As we can see, we also play an extremely important role in it. So there is a sheet that you are going to see it in the next one, this one here. So I would like you please to make a tick if you are applying that activity. And if you're not applying it, put a cross. And then please count the number of ticks and the number of crosses and see which one is more. And what does these numbers indicate for you? Okay? And what does the number of crosses indicate for you? And how is this going to help you in future to plan for applying flipped classroom in your classes? Here it is. Okay, so I'm just going to give you a few minutes, please, to look at that list and tick the ones you're using versus the ones you're not.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but your screen is not visible for us.
Really? Okay, I will, how come? Okay, I'll go and see again, share. I asked before and I was told it is. My apologies for that.
No, madam, just now I think before few minutes only it got disconnected. Now we are able to see.
Okay, so can you see that now?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you can kindly please make a tick for the ones that you're using and a cross for the ones you're not using and calculate the numbers. I need to enlarge it. Yes. Can you see that? Why is somebody playing in it? Is somebody playing in it? Oh, it's moving. It keeps on moving. Okay.
Yeah, this sounds better. This seems better.
Okay, fine. What is where somebody's playing in the PowerPoint?
No, ma'am.
I did not do that. Who is playing in the PowerPoint?
Ma'am, I think PowerPoint is from your side, isn't it? So we can't have the control over it.
Okay, I don't know why it's playing up. Here you go. My God. Something is happening to my PowerPoint. Here.
Ma'am, we are able to see your slides.
Ma'am,
you
is
able-
flip classroom.
I don't know what's happening in my PowerPoint.
Ma'am, you can do one thing. You can unshare and share it again.
Okay. I will do that.
You just have to go again to that arrow, ma'am.
I'm trying. My computer has gone crazy.
Or otherwise, you can leave and join again.
It's I don't know, the slides are going crazy.
You will have to unshare it, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm trying. It keeps on jumping away. It's jumping away from me. I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's happening.
Otherwise, yeah. You can cancel it now, ma'am. I mean, do not save and come out, ma'am.
Okay, I've.
Okay. Now you go to that arrow again. It will unshare that. Acha, we're done. Now you share it again, ma'am.
Okay. I have to open it because it's gone. Ooh,
yeah, you will
what's
have. Yeah,
happening
you will
there?
have to open it again.
Yes, I'll have to open it. I'm not sure what's happening. It's going crazy.
It happens. Morning we had some technical issues. We were breaking again and again.
Yeah, what happened to this? It's going crazy. The cursor is just not listening to me, not obeying me.
Okay, ma'am, in that case, you do one thing. You just leave and come back again. Join us again.
I'm using my fingers because my screen is also, you can use your fingers. The thingy is not working. I'm using my fingers. Let us see if it's gonna work now. Yeah, it's very weird. Wow, why is this happening?
Actually, we are not able to see your screen, and neither we will be able to do something from here. So
you want me to go out and come back? Okay, I'll do that.
You can try that, ma'am. You can leave the session and come back again.
Okay, I'll do that.
Restart में गायब हो जाएगी, sign out हो जाएगी. घंटा भर अंदर आने को लग जाएगा. ठंडा हुआ क्या कुछ? ओके, लैब का तो टर्न करती हूँ. हेलो हेलो मैडम, लॉग आउट नहीं हुई क्या? हैंग हो गई क्या? ओके मैम, इफ यू कैन हियर मी. अभी गई नहीं. Yes, ma'am. I think you have signed out. Now you can come back again. Okay. Okay, fine, ma'am. Yeah. Participants has requested to stay with us. Ma'am will be joining in 2-3 minutes. She has started her computer, restarted her computer. आई क्या ठंडी हो? अब मैं कुछ नहीं करती. देखो अभी मैंने बोला कि स्पीकर्स by the time can I request the participant to please switch on their cameras. By the time CM madam is joining back again, please switch on your camera. Only Anuradha madam. See? Oh, Munmun. Sir, good morning, sir. Up mute.
Good morning, madam. Good morning, madam.
Morning, sir. Oh, Arpita ma'am also joined. Ma'am, how is the session, sir?
It's nice, madam.
CM ma'am got disconnected. She has restarted her computer, so it will take 5-10 minutes to come back again. Since morning we are having small problems. Arpita ma'am ready ekdam. मैम का भी अपना नहीं प्रॉब्लम है ना. मैम यू आर ऑन म्यूट मैम. You are Arpita ma'am, you are on mute. CM madam.
I'm listening.
Okay. CM ma'am has joined back. CM ma'am, you are on mute, ma'am. Ma'am, Siham ma'am, you are on mute. Yeah. Can you hear us? Yeah, can you hear us, ma'am?
Yes,
yeah.
I can hear. I'm trying.
Yeah, you can share your you can share your PPT again, ma'am.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, ma'am, but you will have to share your PowerPoint again.
I am.
Yeah.
Here we go. Can you see it now?
Yes, ma'am. You have to play the slide, madam. Yeah. Now it's okay, clear.
Thank you. Oh God.
No problem, it happens, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Okay, I hope everybody can see it, please.
Yeah.
So if you can kindly just go through it as quickly as possible, and if you notice the abbreviations, the first letters is to do with the 4 pillars of FLIP activities. So the F stands for each one of them, the F, the L, the I, and the P. So please kindly tick or put across for the ones that you are not teaching, so sorry, that you are not using. And that will help you to see which part of the pillars that you need to work on.
Okay. Siham, ma'am? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm there. I'm waiting. I am giving them few minutes to tick or cross on them.
Participants can unmute themselves and they can ask the questions directly. Or you can raise the hand and ask the question, or you can drop a message in chat box.
So I hope that you managed to go through all of this list, because before I change the slide.
One more time. Call me one more time. Call me one more time around 2 o'clock. I have to write it.
No. Yeah. So can we change the screen, or you're still answering, looking at the statements, activities? How's everybody going? Do you still need the screen, or you have you finished ticking the activities?
We can go ahead, I think, ma'am.
Okay. So once you have done this, that will help you, as I mentioned to you, in order to reflect in your classroom activities according to these 3 pillars. I want to hear from you, please, because sometimes we need to reflect on our actions. How beneficial you think this activity is for you? And will that help you in your future plans to implement those 4 pillars in your flipped learning environment? Any answers, any sharing happening, please? Please, we are differentiating now between flipped classroom and flipped learning. And how do we incorporate, how do we help the flipped learning to happen? Through those 4 pillars. Anybody would like to share, please? Is there anybody who would like to share? No? No takers? Okay. Okay, nobody wants to share, no hands up, nothing. Can you hear me at least?
Participants are requested to please respond.
Nobody, nobody wants. Okay, well.
No, many of them are online, ma'am. Many of them are listening to you, but I don't know why they are not responding to that.
They are acting like our students. That's it. You are acting like our students. You complain that the students do not participate. You complain that the students do not engage. Well, we have to be their model. We have to participate. If you want to do any change in this world, you have to start with yourself. Want your students to get engaged, you need to get engaged with each other. Look at the last in the list. What does it say? I collaborate and reflect with other educators and take responsibility for transforming my practice. That's a very important statement. Remember, the P stands for us, for our professionalism, for our practice as educators, and how important we collaborate and reflect. We share with each other. Do you know that in one of the institutes that I worked in, we used to have gatherings every Friday, the staff, for at least 1 hour. And we sit there and we talk with each other about what happened in the week. And we discuss if we had any challenges with the students. And see, more than one head helps. So different lecturers would say what the students did, how did they deal with it. If somebody else is having similar challenge, maybe a colleague will give them a technique that work with them. They practice it, they try it. It's important that we share with each other. And please share with me, right? No?
Nobody wants to share anything with you.
Nobody. I mean, if we don't do it ourselves. Okay. I am moving on. This is actually this is one of the things that we have to ask ourselves about 4 signs that we are really doing a flipped classroom. So it is very important, as I mentioned, as you yourself explained to me about your challenges. You are recording, you are doing lectures, you are giving them activities to do at home and all these things in order to do the flipped classroom. But this also depends on us. It depends on us and how we actually talk to our students, how we motivate them. The constant message that I heard today from several of my colleagues in this field is that they need to engage the students more. So you need to ask yourself, is that what are the signs and that you are really doing a flipped classroom? We can go sometimes through the motions. We can believe that we are doing it, but sometimes we're not. I've explained also the differences between the terminology of flipped classroom and a flipped learning. So the first thing that we need to look at is that students get hands-on. So we need to utilize the time in the classroom. We need to engage the students, make them, they have their hands on. They practice things, they do practical activities, and they enjoy it. They have to enjoy it. If they don't enjoy it, they're not gonna do it. Everybody says, what's in it for me? So the key thing is that we develop these activities to make them also enjoy it. There is a huge big field in gamification. It takes time that we transform our simple activities into games, and so that the students will get engaged and get the buy-in. Okay? And also, what is the other indicator that you are using flipped classroom is that the students, they like each other. They get engaged with each other. If they are engaged in petty arguments and personal vendettas and things like that, that means we are not being successful in really providing for them the right learning culture in the classroom. So we need to check, are we providing the right layout, the right environment, the right culture, the suitable activities, so that they like to communicate with each other, they enjoy each other's time together, and you also enjoy the time with them. It will be enjoyable for everybody. Also, we know that, but we need to remind ourselves that it is all about them. It is all about engaging the students. It's all about them making active. We are there to facilitate. We are there to demonstrate these things by example. We have to practice what we're teaching. It's all about the students. The whole aim is to engage them, okay? And then the fourth sign is that, are they passionate about what they are learning? If they are excited about learning, if they are excited about what they are doing, that is going to be demonstrated in how they discuss the topic. And when they come to class, you will find their appreciation and their application and their analysis and their creativity in everything. So I hope that those indicators or signs can help you in order to engage your students in the classroom. Now, can you please look at those 4 signs? And do you have any of those signs in your classroom to show that, from the ones especially who shared with me about their flipped classroom? Any of those signs around you, please?
Ma'am, we are not displaying on the screen, or we are not displaying on the walls these signs. Only we are giving them the instructions.
Can you see my screen, or you cannot see it anymore?
No, we can't see, ma'am.
Okay, I will go again and share it. I'm not sure where did it go, but I will share it. Here, can you see it now?
It's loading, ma'am. Yeah, now we can see it.
Okay, that's good. So those are the 4 signs that I was discussing, and I was asking if anybody having those signs that the students are practicing, engaging in the activities. The students are having collaboration with each other. They understand that this is all about them, and they are passionate about their learning. Any of those signs?
Ma'am, from your point of view, you want to know that whether we are displaying this sign in the class?
Yeah, no, have you noticed, have you felt, have you noticed any of those? And if you notice, that is going to demonstrate to you, yes, that you are actually succeeding in your flipped classroom. And if not, then this is an indication so that you would look at it in the future, if you have any of those signs.
Okay, all right. So I think I have noticed.
So have you noticed any of them?
The students, they used to engage themselves more whenever it is a flipped classroom, and then the few students, they are very passionate about that they will learn something in their home, and then they will come, and then they will discuss in the class, and then some students, sometimes they used to like it, but not all the times.
Yeah, and you see, when we, this is the main thing, and the first point is identifying what it works and what doesn't. And we are not going to get it 100% all the time. But what we are aspiring there is that we also reflect on our practice, so that it didn't work this time, okay, then you change for the next time. So you target this group, because remember that these students have different capacities and levels of learning and different styles of learning. So when we change every time, we are trying to cater for different learning styles. You see what I mean? So that's great. And that helps us to hone in our practices. Don't you think so?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, I agree with that.
Thank you very much for sharing. Anybody else would like to share, please? Now, as I mentioned to you at the beginning when I was telling you about the content, is that I usually like to end any workshop with reflections. And it's an important thing that we reflect on what we're doing or the workshop. So I would like you to jot down for yourselves 3 things that you didn't know before, 2 things that surprised you about the topic, and 1 thing you want to start doing with what you have learned. And you can keep that for yourself if you want, but obviously there are some people who are not in the mood of sharing today. Okay, so 3 things that you didn't know before, 2 things that surprised you, and 1 thing that you want to incorporate in the future. I would like please to end with a note that education is the kindling of a flame, not the filling of a vessel, as Socrates said. I do believe in that. I believe that I am passionate about my students. I am passionate about their learning journey. And when I first started my career as a teacher, I had the wrong idea that I wanted everybody of my students to like me and everything will be great. But I came to know that that is impossible to happen. So I'm trying my best. I hope for the best. And to me, the success of my students is my reward. So I try to take them one by one by one. And whoever succeeds at the end, that is the best reward for me. Thank you very much for listening. Thank you for your time. And thank you for the ones who shared with me. I hope that I managed to help you in maybe directing you to some tools to help you with the challenges that we meet in the classroom. And it's a good thing that we all share and reflect on our practices together to learn from each other.
Thank you, Siham ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you. If there are any questions, if anybody would like to ask anything. Obviously, everything is clear like mud. Okay, thanks. I'm so grateful for this